And Ronen, of course, all eyes on this vote in Parliament later today. Do you believe that we are on the cusp of a ceasefire agreement?
Hi, Dan. Well, under the assumption that the ceasefire agreement is imminent, this is a very, very significant event for the economy, especially in light of the length of the fighting over a year, its intensity, and its intensification after the ground incursion into Lebanon started. Therefore, the ceasefire itself constitutes a very positive development, both on the economic front, from the fiscal perspective, and of course, from the sentiment of the markets. We should be very careful because the past experience it tells us to wait until the very end and to see that it is really implemented. And if so, I think that it will likely lead to a tendency, at least, of further increases in the equity markets, strengthening of the shekel, the local currency, further slight narrowing of the spreads on the corporate bonds here in Israel, and even a continued recovery of the government bonds.
We've also seen the Bank of Israel keeping the funds rate at 4.5% for the 7th time this year. As you assess the macroeconomic implications here, what are the monetary and fiscal policy measures that are needed now to rehabilitate the economic damage caused by the war, particularly if we do see this ceasefire agreement coming forward?
Well, it's true. The Bank of Israel interest rate was kept at a level of 4.5%, as widely expected, of course, yesterday. The Bank of Israel, first of all, stressed that the inflation rate here in Israel is still too high, about 3.5%, which is 0.5% above the upper limit of the inflation target. Of course, there are other things to consider to see the implications of a possible ceasefire on the Israeli economy. Bank of Israel previously stressed that because of the war situation, it has to keep the interest rate much higher than in any other case. So right now, maybe there is a chance for him to think about lowering the rate, but I don't think it will happen soon enough, maybe during the second half of the year, because the inflation here in Israel in the coming months are still forecasted to go higher. And of course, we have the problem of the growth rate here in Israel. It's up and down. It's not stable. We have to see what happens in 2025. Anyway, I think that the Bank of Israel will be very, very careful before hinting that the interest rate is going down for the first time. And of course, the situation here, military-wise, will be a major factor in its consideration.